We are just out here enjoying the sun, this warm sun. The sun feels so good right now because the breeze is cold, the air is cold. Today is a fairly cold day, but when you're standing out in the sun and not in the shade, it feels so much better. Today I'm just gonna be out here working on getting some things harvested and cleaned up out here. And I thought I'd bring you along with me. Hey everybody, welcome to Saving Greens Homestead. My name is Keisha, and if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I welcome you. Tiger is just chilling out right here. We are about to get started, and I say we because my companions, they usually help me out with some stuff, mostly just entertain me while I'm out here working. But we're gonna be harvesting the last of these tomatoes and stuff, and I just wanted to show you what my garden looks like since I've returned from my trip. Everything is more barren than it was before. So I figure I'll walk around and I'll talk about it a little bit with you, and then eventually I'm gonna get this yard cleaned up and prepared for next season's growing. But look at this. Look, I still got tomatoes growing. Now it's been cold. We've been in the high 20s for the last few days, and I was really concerned coming out here because I'm thinking, well, everything's gonna be dead. And that's why I had harvested all that I harvested before I left to go to Japan, because I knew that there was gonna be some weather most likely while I was gone, and I didn't want to lose all those tomatoes. But the tomatoes, they survived it, and they're doing really good. The plants are still green. But I already know that it's just high time that these come out. And so that's what I plan on doing. Look at this. I gotta get these beans too. I left those to dry so I could save the seeds of them. And can you believe I'm still finding hornworm damage on my tomato plants? With it being as cold as it is, I keep thinking that them hornworms would be done by now, but I guess not. They still are out, and I'm still finding damage on my plants. Everything's just so pretty. I'm gonna miss seeing all these colors during the drab winter, but I won't have long to wait. I read something the other day that said that we have something like 80 days until spring. And I'm like, yes. I look forward to spring. I look forward to growing all of these things, the tomatoes and the peppers and stuff. And it's always so hard to say goodbye to them. I still have peppers hanging on here and growing. Look at that. There's one over there. There's some up there. That's why these plants are still in my garden right now, because it's just so hard for me to say goodbye to them. But I will. I'm gonna have to, because I'm gonna have to get rid of the old in order to usher in what's gonna be new. So I'm gonna come out and collect as much of this as I can and get that process started as soon as I can. I've been doing a lot of cleanup on the inside of my house, and so I need to try and divide my time between inside and outside so I can get all of it done. I still got all these tomatoes though. It's just amazing to me. And they're hanging on in my pomegranate tree. Both of my trees are all bare right now. Look at this guy. You gonna come give us some loving, Sonny? Hey baby. Aw, I get kisses too. I get kisses too. He's such a sweetheart sometimes. But all these trees are so bare now. I'm gonna have to get them pruned. That doesn't come until later though. I'll prune them a lot later. Just before spring starts. And my peach trees are all bare. I'm gonna have to dig around over here because somebody's been digging around over here. Make sure there's no deposits made in this bed. It could be Sunny, but then there's another cat that hangs around here all the time. That could be doing a lot of that too. These are tomatoes that bugs had gotten a hold of. And I just left them there when I was harvesting before we left. But then I get over here and look. All of this green growth on this tomato plant. And there's a tomato in there. Oh, there's a big one. Right over there. He's probably been attacked by bugs, but I didn't even see him when I was harvesting everything. I'm gonna have to dig him out. See if he's worth keeping. It's breezy, and this breeze is cold. Look at this, my eggplant still has eggplants, fruit on them. I know they're not gonna last, they're not gonna mature, but I just find it interesting that my eggplants still has fruit coming out. He is extra poofy too right now. His winter coat came in, so he is just extra fluffy. Sunny. Oh, look at this. You about to jump up there? Look at this radish. Just growing right here next to this cement pile. It looks like it's doing pretty good too. It's healthy. Oh, it's big. It's super big. Let's see. Look down in there. This thing is humongous. And it's pretty solid in there too. I'm gonna have to yank with two hands. Huh. Interesting that that's where it decided to volunteer. I'm gonna rake up these leaves. There's nothing really special to talk about right now except for that I still have those tomatoes and that they're still green and growing even though it's cold. I just got a lot of stuff I need to get done. I got a lot of work to do on the outside here in my garden. And then at the same time, I got a lot of work to do on the outside of me. For this new year, there's a lot of things that I want to achieve and get done. Not just in my garden, but also just with myself. Now, try and figure out, just things that are going on with me. Everything can stand some improvement. My garden is like a picture of life lessons to me and what I can learn from my garden. And right now, the biggest thing that is standing out to me is that I need to I need to clean up out here and get all this old stuff put away. And I guess it's the same thing when it comes to real life. Like, the new year brings about new starts and new beginnings. A lot of people are starting to exercise more because they decided that's what they needed to do. Some people are pledging to read their Bibles more this year, or go to church more, or start going to church. Stop drinking, stop smoking. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things that people are, I guess, making resolutions about, or making their goal. And I do have some similar goals. Not about the drinking part, because I don't drink like that. And not about the smoking, because I've never smoked. But we can always use more prayer. I know that I can. I can always seek after God more in everything that I do, and prioritize Him first in my life. But while we're figuring out what things we need to do or change, or what new directions we need to take, I mean, the garden just kind of reflects that to me as I come out here and take away all this old, some of it dead and dying and diseased stuff. And it'll be time to replace it with more life-giving, vibrant things. So whenever I'm out here looking at my garden and working in my garden, there's always a life lesson in it for me. And there's so many, and I think about them, and then when I go to try and put it on video, well, it doesn't always translate. I can never find the right words. I can think the right words, but then they don't come out the same. This cat just tried to ambush me again. I tell you guys, he always, the whole time while I'm out here, he'll try and trip me. He'll swat at my legs, kick my feet, flop right down, and he'll jump out of places trying to get me. Anyways, oh, sunflowers. And now look, I had already looked over here and I didn't even see these. Look at that. I got some volunteer sunflowers. And not just those, there's others popping up right here. I'm gonna let them stay. I'm not gonna pull them out. All the ones that I grew this last season, that you can still see some of the dead stems from, volunteers from last season. So I'm gonna leave those. I want to get an early start on planting tomatoes this season and peppers. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those started. And I also want to get a head start on some other things. Last season I started a whole bunch of tomato plants, and I only ended up with about 20 or so plants. So I definitely want to make sure that I have a good start to the new season. Look at these marigolds are funky looking. I don't know if it's because of the weather, but look at them. The flower heads never really filled out. I mean, I should be happy that they at least bloomed, but they just never filled out right. Anyway, since this is a new start to a new year, I figure there's some things that I want to change up. I need to get new cameras so I can put on a better production of videos for you guys. And that means I have to get rid of my old cameras because I'm not getting paid to do any of this yet. Everything that I'm trying to build and start here is coming out of my pocket. And so that was another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. I usually don't mention too much about financial things and support and stuff, but one of my goals this past year in 2023 was to get my channel monetized, and I was so close. Now I'm in need of 700 watch time hours. I would like to finally get monetized and at least put forth an effort towards getting monetized by February. So if you would like to help me out with that, then I have some playlists. I have recipes and meals that I cooked using things that I harvested out of my garden here. That's like 40 or so videos. I have the gardening with sand video playlist that shows all my videos of me using sand and why I use it and what the benefits are of it and how I've used it. I have my tea videos, my Tea Tuesday videos in a playlist, and that's a really popular one because I discuss how I take and use just every ordinary things that we grow in our gardens, like these tomato plants, the leaves, and I talk about the benefits of them and how they are edible and how I used it in tea and other uses. But for my Tea Tuesday playlist, there's a lot of items like that, like tomato leaves, like pepper leaves that can be used in tea. Pomegranate leaves, peach leaves, just so many different things out of our garden, that we plant and have in our gardens that can be used for tea and is healthy, and I describe the benefits of it. So maybe you might be interested in some of those videos, and I have a whole playlist of them. But if you'd like to help me out with this, help me make my goal by the end of this month, please just check out some of those videos. Go back and look at some of my old videos. This garden, the way it looks now, is not the way it looked when I first moved into this house 7 years ago. This garden has changed immensely. And there was a patio, huge patio cover connected to my house. There was other trees and bushes, and I had all my gardening that I was starting to do in ground, not in raised beds. I mean, there was just a lot of things that was different. So if you're curious about that, then go back and look at some of my older videos. Also, I have chickens, and I have a playlist for my chickens and how I feed my chickens fodder every winter and the setup for that. And if that's something that interests you, then I suggest you go and look at that playlist and what I do for my chickens. But anyway, so I mean, there's plenty of things to look at, and all you got to do is just share my videos, watch my videos, watch them to the end, share my videos around. There's some how-tos. I don't like doing a lot of how-to type videos, but I do like to show how I do in my videos. So no how-to, but how I do in my videos. So a lot of how I fertilize my garden naturally, how I prepare my beds with lasagna gardening, why I use weed fabric on top and how that's worked out for me. I mean, there's just so many different videos that I have. There's tomato review videos on a playlist. If you're like me and you love tomatoes, especially good juicy heirloom tomatoes, then I have tons of reviews on different varieties that I grew in this garden. I have videos, taste review videos on watermelons that I've grown, which is funny because I don't like watermelon. And so the videos usually are hilarious because I can't train my face to act like I'm liking it when I don't like it. I don't like the flavor of it. But those videos are all there in a playlist. Now, I do have a winter garden that I'm growing right now, but with winter gardens, they don't grow fast. They grow very slow. So if I was to try and report to you once a week the progress on my winter stuff, it just get repetitive and boring. So I have other things in mind to entertain you, hopefully. Anyways, I'm gonna stop jibber jabbering out here, and I am gonna go ahead and get started on the things that I need to do. My garden companions and I would like to thank you for watching this video, and we will see you guys in the next one. So, as always, God bless. You gonna say bye, Tiger? Oh.